Hello guys, welcome back to another video of HTML. Now, in this video we are going to learn some frequently used HTML input attributes. So, what are these attributes? First of all, we are going to see the read-only attribute. The input read-only attribute specifies that an input field is read-only. A read-only input field cannot be modified. However, it can use to tap to it, highlight it, and copy the text from it. So let's see how to do it. So you can see here an input tag has been created, and when I write here just read only, okay. So first of all, let's see how it works without read only. I will open it with live server, and when you see this John, I can erase this and I can type it again. So that's the basic thing. But when you apply your just read only and save this, so when you go here and run the file, you can see that we can't do anything to it. That means we cannot write into this text field. You can just modify, or you can just Control C here and you can copy and paste it here, and you can highlight that data. So that's the basic thing of read only. So the another attribute which we are going to see is the disabled attribute. The input disabled attribute specifies that an input field should be disabled. A disabled input field is unusable and unclickable. The value of disabled input field will not be sent when submitting the form. So you can see here the same input tag. I'll just type in your disabled. Okay, so type this and I'll open it with live server. Now you can see that the text field looks disabled and it's unusable and unclickable, and it is also a little bit blurry. So you can see it. I'm hovering around here, it doesn't happen anything. The another attribute which we are going to look now is the max length attribute. The input max length attribute specifies the maximum number of characters allowed in an input field. When a max length is set, the input field will not accept more than the specified number of characters. However, this attribute does not provide any feedback. So if you want to alert the user, you can write JavaScript code and do that. So I'll just go here, and here in this, I'll just type here max length. And if I type here 4 inside this pin element here and open it with live server, so I'll type something here like code, and if I intend to type here like 1 2 3 4, and if I try to type here 5 or 6 7 8 9 whatever or character, it doesn't accept values more than 5. So that's the use of max length attribute. It doesn't accept values more than 4. That means your size, how you give to the max length. The next attribute which we are going to see is the min and max attributes. The input min and max attributes specify the minimum and maximum values for an input field. The min and max attributes work with the following input types like number, range, date, time, local, month, time, and week. So let's take a look at an example. Here we can see that an input field of type date has been created, and if I just type here max, in quotes I'll just type in 2000, and okay, I'll just type here 2010 and hyphen months like 12 31. Just save this and I'll open this with live server. Now if you try to type here enter date before 1980 11, and if you click here, you can see you cannot view values after 2010. That means the max value is 2010. So that's the use of max. And let's see how to implement this min. So in this min, if I just type here 2000 -12 -31, save this, and when I open this, you can see only values after 2000 are visible. That means this is the minimum 2000 and maximum is the current date. So that's the basic use of max and min attribute. The next attribute which we are going to see is the multiple attribute. The input multiple attribute specifies that the user is allowed to enter more than one value in an input field. The multiple attribute works with the following input types like email and file. Now if I go here and if I just save this file and open it with live server, and if I choose a file, you can see only one file can be chosen. Now I'm hitting control and clicking the files, but only one file can be selected. Or I'm just dragging here, I'll just drag here, only one file can be selected. Okay, I'll just cancel this. And if I go here and if I type here multiple and save this, you can see I can select more files. That means I can select one or more files. So that's the basic use of multiple attributes. And I can also choose it by control. So this is the use of multiple attributes. Now the next attribute which we are going to see is the placeholder. So placeholder attribute specifies a short hint that describes the expected value of an input field or a sample value. The short hint is displayed in the input field before the user enters a value. So here you can see an input field has been created with the type TEL, and I'll just type in here the placeholder. Okay, and inside this I'll just type here enter your number and save this. And if you open it with live server, you can see it shows us the hint that enter your number. And if I just try to type here some random numbers, you can see we can type here. So that's the basically use of placeholder. The another attribute which we are going to see is the required attribute. Now the input required attribute specifies that an input field must be filled out before submitting the form. The required attribute works with the following input types like text, search, URL, telephone number, email, phone number, password, date pickers, checkbox, radio and file. So let's see how to do that. So in this input field, I'll just type here required and I'll save this. Let's open it with live server, and you can see you'll need to type some. If you type something, it's okay, but if I don't type something and if I click submit, you can see a pop-up which says please fill out this field. So that's the basic use of input required attribute. The last one which we are going to see is the autofocus. Now if you run this page, let me just show you what happens before autofocus and what happens after autofocus. So when you can see this, our focus is not on the first name field or on the last name field, input field. So whenever you click here, now the focus comes. So if you just type here autofocus and save this, you can see the focus has already came to first name. So that's the basic use of autofocus attribute. So these are some frequently used HTML attributes, and they are quite easy and you can practice it a lot. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you got to know about lot of HTML attributes. See you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned. Goodbye.
Yeah.